Save Yourself Some Therapy: 4 Modern Dangers to Our Mental Health and What to Do About It by Amber Bateman, Licensed Professional Counselor. Chapter 1, Part 2. A note about children. Any of the dangers we are addressing here apply to children as well, and even more so. Children are especially vulnerable to unhealthy practices. While there is a very popular belief that children are resilient, it is not really true. Children are adaptable. They do not bounce back to their original state, as the term resilience means, but rather they mold and adapt their brains with new information and experiences. Normal and healthy habits for children do not make them stronger. It just makes unhealthy habits normal. We have a responsibility and opportunity to protect and prepare our kids to make healthy choices for their mental and emotional health. So what is the alternative to a culture of hurriedness? Slowing down and being present. By slowing down, I do not mean we all quit our jobs and move to a deserted island. By slowing down, I do not necessarily mean that you should never have a busy day. Busy days, where life circumstances require a lot of your time and attention, will happen to all of us. Cars break down, children wake up with a fever, ankles get sprained, milk gets spilled. Stuff happens that we cannot always control. And those things can make our day busy, full of needs that need to be met. Busy is not the same as hurried. Busy is what we just described in the paragraph above. We have responsibilities that should be tended to. By this definition, busyness has always existed since the dawn of time. Bodies need to be cleaned, people need to be fed, and homes need to be built. That is not the same thing as modern hurriedness. By hurriedness, I mean what we have referred to in previous paragraphs in this chapter. That uneasy, antsy feeling that you are behind, and that you and everyone around you needs to move faster. Being unnecessarily busy can, of course, lead to being hurried, and the strategies ahead will address that. But there is an important distinction to make, because I am arguing that one can be busy, have a lot of responsibilities, without being constantly hurried. The difference is in being present, mindful of where you actually are in the moment, rather than living in the future. Stress is the pressure we feel in the moment to rise to a challenge or perform a certain way. All of us will face stressful situations in our lives. That is a part of life, and we have responsibilities we must tend to. But in light of the danger of a fast culture, we have to ask ourselves these questions. Is all of the stress I'm experiencing necessary? Is any of it an amount God is not calling me to? Can any of it be reduced without compromising what God is calling me to do? Anxiety is the negative thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations we experience, even when we are not in immediate danger at that moment. Usually, we are experiencing anxiety about something that is in the past or future, not in that present moment. We can reduce a significant amount of anxiety by being present and coming back to right here and right now. Let us look at an example to further illustrate this concept. Hurried. You have an appointment to meet with a friend at a coffee shop in 15 minutes. You leave work in a fluster, even though the coffee shop is only 10 minutes away. As you drive toward the coffee shop, you look at your phone at stoplights to catch up on emails and look at cat memes. You arrive at the coffee shop and notice there are no seats left, so you quickly text your friend that there are no seats and ask if she wants to go somewhere else. Your friend arrives and says, "We do not have time to go anywhere else," and you begin talking about how busy you both are. You get to the counter and feel flustered because you do not know what you want, and you're irritated that the line was so long anyway. You make some small talk with your friend, but really, all you can think about is how much work you must do when you get back to the office. Present. You have an appointment to meet with a friend at a coffee shop in 15 minutes. You take a minute to pause whatever work you are doing and jot down on a sticky note where you need to resume when you return. You look around your office, take a deep breath, and walk out to your car. You take the 10-minute drive to the coffee shop to check in with yourself. How am I feeling? What would I like to discuss with my friend when I see her? You notice it is a beautiful winter day, cold and crisp, but sunny. You arrive at the coffee shop and notice there are no seats left. But it doesn't bother you, because it's a beautiful day, and standing in the sunshine might actually be nice. Your friend arrives and you greet each other with a hug and genuine, "How are you?" You both ask meaningful questions to each other as you wait in line. You order your drinks and enjoy them so much that you decide a London fog is your new favorite drink. You leave the coffee date feeling encouraged and energized for the rest of your workday. Which of these two examples do you relate to more often? When was the last time you were fully present in the moment, where you felt fully alive and fully engaged in real time with real people without any kind of cyber world or thinking into the future? This difference is significant and is a great contributor to overall mental health. Biblical perspective. In his book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, John Mark Comer challenges readers with this question: was Jesus ever in a hurry? He certainly had busy days where there were lots of things to be done, people to heal, life-changing messages to preach, humankind to save for all eternity, small stuff like that. Surely he was busy at times, but was he hurried? Was he put out? Emotionally dysregulated? His mind off thinking about how it was nearly sundown and he needed to get here and there? It's hard to think of a passage in Scripture that we find Jesus in a rush. Was it because he did not have anything pressing to do? Of course not. We look at the Gospels and find that when Jesus' friend was deathly ill, he stayed 2 days longer. He did not rush off. Another time, we see Jesus on his way to heal a very sick girl. And what does he do? Stops to ask who touched him in the crowd. I am not arguing that it is wrong to rush to your friend's bedside if he is ill, but pointing out that Jesus was intentional, present, and focused, even in the midst of immediate suffering and need. When the Lord walked this earth, he displayed to us a way of being present, being aware of and being concerned about the task his Father was asking of him right there in that present moment. Yes, he knew the future was coming, and yes, he was planning and thinking about eternity past and eternity future, but he lived in the time and space which he created to be fully available to the people in that space. These observations beg the question: if Jesus, when here in physical humanity, was not routinely rushed and hurried, why are we? Do we have more important things to do than Jesus? The ruthless elimination of hurry also addresses the fact that Jesus did not try to do it all. He did not write a book. He did not command a military army. He did not own a vehicle or a house. Yet he was the most successful, most perfect human to ever walk the earth. He was the most productive in fulfilling the purpose for which he came. Why do so many of us believe that if we do not do all the things, that we have failed? We will continue to explore this question as we work through the book, but for now, let us address some common objections to slowing down. Objection 1. I like being busy. What if I like being busy? Some of you may ask. What if I need to be busy? What about those who need to be busy to stay out of trouble or curb loneliness? Is staying busy doing positive things not better than sitting at home feeling sorry for myself and doing things I should not? I hear you. Yes, I do think that some people may find that staying active and having a full schedule is actually beneficial for their mental health. Some people, especially those struggling with depression, may need to find more meaningful things to do. But again, having a full life is not the same as hurriedness. The antidote to hurriedness is not boredom or laziness. It is being present where you are and who you are with at that given time. Anyone can benefit from this. Objection 2. Escape. Many find they keep themselves going from one thing to the next without pause, because when they do slow down, they find themselves flooded with anxiety, negative thoughts, and overwhelming feelings. We can use hurriedness to avoid having to face our external and internal problems. This is how I survive, you may say. And it works, doesn't it? Yes, and no. Yes, because sometimes a season of life is just plain hard, and we need to keep moving, keep doing the next right thing. But even in those times, I would still not recommend hurriedness and frantically going through your days disoriented and out of touch with yourselves and others. If you have a physical sickness, such as a runny nose, cough, or fever, distracting yourself with a movie or some music can be okay, and even a healthy way to cope. But if after 6 months you are still watching TV and ignoring the fact that you've had a fever for months, something is wrong. At that point, masking your symptoms with distractions is not wise. It is time to address what is going on with you. It is time to consider getting help, going to a professional doctor, or talking with trusted family and friends. Unfortunately, many people live this way in regard to their mental health. They have chronic mental health symptoms that are begging to be addressed, but instead, they continue to distract themselves, staying so busy that they do not have time to think about the fact that they've had a fever for 6 months. Friend, if this is you, please slow down and get help. Your problem is not likely to resolve itself. I know it can seem overwhelming, but you can do this. Let us get into some more practical ways to protect ourselves against the modern danger of hurriedness.